So, as I'm sure a lot of you know, I'm a political junkie. I love politics. It is, for some reason, the thing that attracts me more than anything else, more than sports or, hobbies. Like, I just sit in my room all day and listen to political stories, write down, news facts, do a lot of research on my own. I like to form my own opinion. And I just really enjoy it. It's something fills my time, and I guess it's not for everybody, but hey, whatever floats your boat, man. So I really wanted to talk about political ideology, because we've been hearing or seeing a ton of phrases getting thrown around lately, and I just want to break them down, or at least one by one, because this isn't a lecture and I don't want anybody to fall asleep on me. So the first thing I want to talk about is authoritarianism. Now, a lot of people have been calling Trump an authoritarian, and I think after I explain this to you, you will understand why people call him that, and why, in my opinion, it is the most fitting one of the names you'll be hearing him called. He's been called, I've heard, fascist, which we can get to that a little bit, just so I can kind of clear up why people say that, but it's not really that true. People call him a communist. I've seen it, even though it's the literally opposite of what the authoritarianism is. But so let's just kind of break this down. So an authoritarian is somebody kind of like a picture of Vladimir Putin. He's widely hailed as an authoritarian leader. And you're going to see a lot of the traits in him, and maybe somebody else whose name starts with a D and last name is with a T. Might be the president, might not be. I'll just have to see. So the definition of an authoritarian is a person who leads through the systems of authority, the opposite of an egalitarian whose goal is to treat all with equal value. Now, as you can see, I have notes. I wrote these down a long time ago. I was flipping through a notebook and I saw them and I was like, oh, this is really is good to read now, because it can help explain to people why a lot of these things on here are going to be similar to things that Donald Trump has said or done. Oh shit, I said his name. I wasn't supposed to. Okay, anyways. So here's some common traits. You'll hear faulty reasoning. And I didn't make these up, by the way. These are all, probably from Wikipedia. I don't remember where I wrote them down from. Contradicting ideas. So, saying one thing one time, saying something later that totally contradicts that. I think we can all agree Trump has done that plenty of times. Insufficient evidence for their beliefs. Oh, yeah, like saying he had the biggest inauguration crowd ever. Which he didn't, but, uncritically trust those they want to hear. Lying media. I mean, it's to a T, man. Willing to punish others to extremes. We're gonna kill their families. We need to kill the families of the terrorists. We're gonna bring back waterboarding, even if it doesn't work. We're gonna bring back worse than waterboarding. Anti-LGBT. Now, actually, to his credit, he's been good for the Republican Party, pushing them to accepting LGBTs. Now, it could be him being a publicity stunt. Maybe he just likes the admiration. He was a blue dog, what they call a Manhattan Democrat or blue dog Democrat, more fiscally conservative, but, liberal on social issues. So even though he seems like a racist dick, he's probably just a bit of a racist dick. I know that sounds weird, but, he's more of a product of his times. His dad was an out racist. there's a lawsuit right now actually going on where documents from the lawsuit were released, and they show all of this discrimination case that was brought against the Trump family. And I mean, you can look into that if you want to, but it was more of his dad than Trump himself. And I think Trump's more just, he's a child, man. So he just doesn't know how to eloquently state things or his own beliefs, even if he does believe them truly. So next, dogmatic and dominant. I don't need to say anything about that. Uncooperative. Blind to their personal failures. Wow, man. Shit can't write itself. Willing to help the government prosecute almost anyone. He recently called Edward Snowden a traitor. Funny enough, he heard it like 5 minutes after Fox and Friends had like a banner running across the screen saying, Snowden, traitor. So, I mean, it maybe like he just sees that and is like, yeah, he's a traitor, Fox News, because they agree with me. Because they're like the only part of the media that isn't lying, because they don't hurt his feelings, I guess. Wow. And if you can see, like right here, these traits are common for a right-wing authoritarian personality. Alright, so the rest I have is kind of like notes about, I'll just go ahead and read it. I can't say anything today. Authoritarian family structures. So children tend to be more likely to follow their parents' ideological beliefs and religious beliefs. I mean, that's like anybody. If you grew up in a house, you go to church, more likely to be religious. If your dad's a Republican, you're more likely to be a Republican. My dad's a Republican. I happen to be the complete opposite. So we can get into it sometimes, but he actually likes talking about it, so it's okay, you know. Children in these families are less likely to adapt to new ideas or challenging beliefs. I think that's fair to say. I mean, that's the whole conservative ideology pretty much wrapped up right there. You know, liberals are, like, by definition, open to new ideas and getting rid of the old traditional way of doing things, which I think is definitely a good thing. And there's some conservative things, like being fiscally conservative, it really doesn't have anything to do with like social conservatism. You know, one is like they keep all of the bad things from the past with the social conservatism, and then the rest is economic policy. That's fiscal conservatism. They want less regulations on their businesses, which, I mean, I happen to agree with. I'm probably more fiscally conservative than a lot of liberals out there, but not when it comes to taxing, you know, giving tax breaks to billionaires while taxing the middle class higher. You know, the first executive order he signed, I believe, will end up costing like middle class homeowners another $1,000 when they get a first time mortgage. I'm about to be one of those people, except I'm not even middle class. I'm like broke as shit, but we won't get into that right now. Alright. And then links to authoritarian religious practices. Kids will not question their authority figures as a result of their upbringing, and Republican leaders are much more likely to show authoritarian characteristics. You know, and that's not, you know, my opinion. I mean, it is actually, but it's, you know, all sourced, even though I don't know the source. Y'all find it. Alright. And then the last, I have more. Jesus. Alright, well, I'll wrap this up, because this is getting on 10 minutes now. Alright, so telling right-wing authoritarians what they want to hear doesn't matter how many contradictions are made. They will still believe what they want to believe. They will still be loyal to their supporters. I think this is something I wrote. This is like an opinion piece. Liberals who do not exhibit these traits are skeptical of claims if they seem too good to be true, then research for ulterior motives. So don't take it at face value. Always do your research. Come on, people. Don't ever hear something on Fox News, CNN, anywhere. Always check your sources. That's something that's so important. Check where you're getting your news from, because we all have that selective bias where we will not, want to challenge our own beliefs, cognitive dissonance. I have papers on that too. I can read sometime for you guys. And credibility doesn't tarnish a right-wing authoritarian's perception of a message they want to hear or want to believe. So think about Pizzagate, They wanted to believe that the Clintons were running a sex slave shop, or a sex slave operation for children out of a pizza place, and a guy brings a shotgun in there and shoots off. Luckily nobody was killed, but Jesus Christ, people really do want to believe some crazy things, and it's up to us, like I said, to check our sources, make sure it's true, because bad things can happen. And to get back to, authoritarianism and Donald Trump, I think I just kind of presented the evidence as to why he would be an authoritarian. So thank you guys if you actually had the patience to watch this. I'll be uploading a few more videos kind of like this in a bit, like I said, so stay tuned.